Mariota here in the dungeon. What a terrific young man and what an accomplished player in just 2 short seasons. It's amazing to think that he's already been the MVP of not only the Alamo Bowl, but also the Fiesta Bowl in his freshman season. This guy is poised to rewrite the record book in 2014 as he gets back under center for Oregon in their bid for a national championship. And I think it's also important to realize that all these young guys had a hill to climb to find out what it's really like to be under center. Yes! A uke player.
No, that's about as far as I go.
Hi, I'm Mark Helfrich, head football coach at the University of Oregon, and you're watching Pac-12 Oregon, where champions play.
Gary Payton II has a chance to do something tonight at Gill Coliseum that only his father has done before him, as Wayne Tinkle's Beavers look to bounce back from their first loss of the season as they play host to LMU out of the West Coast Conference. It's Pac-12 Hoops next on Pac-12 Network Oregon. Challenging December schedule begins tonight in Corvallis for the Oregon State Beavers. As we welcome you inside Gill Coliseum, they play host to the LMU Lions out of the West Coast Conference. And good evening, everyone. With Lamar Hurd, I am JB Long. And Lamar, isn't it interesting how quickly a culture of winning has developed here in Corvallis? The Beavs have been brewing on a loss 8 days ago, and they're not very happy about it.
Well, and you understand why not. They didn't play typical Wayne Tinkle-style basketball where it's good defense, spreading the wealth offensively. Gary Payton II had to shoot the ball 25 times. The next highest field goal attempts was Trace Tinkle at 8. And so Wayne Tinkle wants better distribution throughout the team, but these type of looks right here isn't what they're used to giving up in their defense. Valpo sliced right through them.
Now, Gary Payton II is the reigning Defensive Player of the Year in the conference. So far in his senior season, he has looked the part of potentially a Pac-12 Player of the Year.
He's got this way about him where he's just so disrespectful, but in a nice way, JB. I mean, he'll block a guy's shot, as we see here, stand over him, and then help the guy up. Defensively, he is a menace. He is a thief. His own mama calls him the thief, but he makes big plays time after time, both defensively and offensively. His biggest test, though, is going to be able to get this team to rebound from the loss and play together as a whole.
Now, no promises, but the last time these two programs met, his father was on the court doing things like this statistically.
Wow.
And he and the Lions combined for 230 points. I don't know if we're going to see that tonight on Pac-12 Oregon, Lamar.
Well, I mean, you putting it out there, JB, like there's a chance. Now you got me excited.
LMU and Oregon State, Lions and Bees line up and action next.
Millions of years lying in the dark, I have been discovered and selected amongst hundreds. A long journey has brought me here to light up her smile forever.
The signature Forever Mark Diamond, exclusively available at Benbridge Jeweler.
Your personal jeweler, Benbridge.
With 4 times the resolution, nothing is more captivating. Ultra HD from Vizio.
Only Wendy's makes a deal feel like a meal. Introducing our new 4 for $4. $4 for a junior bacon cheeseburger, nuggets, fries, and a drink. You're still sitting there? That's fresh, never frozen beef, sizzling bacon, and so much more. Get 4 for $4 now at Wendy's.
Go, 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 go! Go, 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 go! You're there every step of the way. Help them go further with the protection of life insurance from New York Life. Get started today.
In the West, we do things a little differently. Our commutes are a bit more fun. Farm to table is a shorter trip. And the gym is optional. Out here, we're not just on the lookout for new, better ways to do things. We actually create them. Like a new way to securely pay bills with the tap of our finger. We call it Scan to Pay. It's a better way to pay bills. And it's another reason to go West. Bank of the West.
This Pac-12 basketball game is brought to you by Clean, Crisp Coors Light. Back in Corvallis in our starting lineups, presented by Bank of the West. Drew Eubanks is hitting at 71% from the floor here as a freshman. He leads the Pac-12, just doesn't have enough field goals attempted to qualify nationally, but off to a terrific start as a Beaver. OSU is 4-1. The LMU Lions are 4-2 and winners of 3 straight. Josh Spears, Brandon Brown, Stephen Haney, Boy Touch, and Shamar Johnson. Their starting lineup for head coach Mike Dunlap. Here is Wayne Tinkle in his second season, his age 49 season. A full week off since that Valpo loss, 63-57. And there is Mike Dunlap, a 1980 graduate of LMU. 30 years of college and NBA coaching experience, including a stint as a head coach. Now back at his alma mater in the college ranks. Brandon Brown, an undersized one at 5'10", dipping inside. Boy Touch, nice lead. Shamar Johnson, a junior from Pensacola, Florida.
Oregon State opened up in an aggressive man-to-man, but they did not contain dribble penetration.
It seemed like the evaluation of that Valpo loss, Lamar, offensively was lackadaisical. Cuts, screens.
And the upperclassmen not stepping up. Wayne Tinkle was not happy with the Malcolm DeVivier being one. He wants him to be aggressive, but be intelligent.
Spears with a steal and a second possession for LMU. Brown takes the on ball.
Nice move.
And an out dribble leads to a jumper. And rebound tipped out to Oregon State. Lexus, keys to the game. Lamar Hurd.
Veteran leadership. That's first and foremost. I just told you Wayne Tinkle was not happy with the veteran leadership they got against Valpo. And you got to spread the wealth. In that game, Gary Payton II had to shoot the ball 25 times. Now, he made 11 of them, but this team thrives off of getting everybody involved, having those freshmen meet the upperclassmen in terms of production. And last but not least, JB, communication. Last year, this team was one of the best defensive teams in the entire country because of how well they communicated.
Langston Morris Walker to DeVivier, short with his first three-point attempt. So those upperclassmen, that leadership, to me that sounds like we've got to get Olaf Schaftenar and Langston Morris Walker started.
I think you made a great observation the last time you and I did an Oregon State game. You said Olaf Schaftenar could be the key to their success, and I agree with you. You see him getting his hand on the basketball there, but Oregon State not able to come up with it. But Olaf is a guy that can present a lot of mismatches because of his ability to extend his range and also to finish in the paint.
Josh Spears off the mark. Rebound tipped out to Drew Eubanks. The big handling in transition. Over to Langston Morris Walker. Back iron, but he collects his own. Second chance opportunity. And he starts 0 for 2 from the floor. Stripped away by Shamar Johnson. As it goes back to the Beavs, I just want to point out, so rarely do I make a point that is worth anything to Lamar Hurd that even weeks later he remembers it and repeats it on air.
That was a good one that you made. Big Olaf, the big Dutchman. He's got some ability. He's a kid 2 years ago, 80% of his attempts came from behind the three-point line, but he has since diversified his game, and now he can operate in the post.
High-low feed turned over, so a rocky start offensively for the Beavers. Of course, they're Jazz. They want to get that loss out of their system, but maybe a little bit of game rust as well, having not played in 8 days.
And LMU is a quality opponent. We saw Valpo come in here and take it to Oregon State. LMU has the same ability to score the basketball and defend at a high level.
Boy Touch, just a 15% three-point shooter on the season. Quick 5-0 start for the Lions. Against the zone, GP2, a one-handed pass over the lengths to Morris Walker. Schoftenar passing on 3. Back to DeVivier, single digits on the timer. Morris Walker, a baseline feed, and again the Lions have hands on it. 5 left for OSU.
Got to give the Lions some credit. They are active in this zone, and Oregon State right now not doing a good enough job of getting 2 defenders to guard the ball. Therefore, they're not offsetting the Lions defense at all.
Olaf off the inbound. There it is for Olaf Schoftenar.
That's what he can do. That little 10-foot to 15-foot game. Can also step back behind the 3-point line. And let's see if this gives the Beavers some energy on the defensive end.
Shamar Johnson on rotation. 3-pointer, Stephen Haney Jr.
Haney that time put Olaf Schoftenar in a bit of an uncomfortable situation, tracing screens. Olaf tried to cheat it and go over the top. Haney read it and flared on the screen. Nice delivery and nice shot.
I like this zone look from LMU. You know you're going to get an Oregon State team chomping at the bit to get back on the floor, and you throw them off kilter with the zone look.
You slow them down. You don't allow them to play at the pace they want to play at.
GP2 off the heel. Eubanks had a shot, the rebound. Brown tried to track it down. It'll stay at this end with the new shot clock for OSU.
Another thing the zone does, JB, it makes you think even longer after every missed shot. It's not like, you know, you're going to go down on the defensive end and come back and get a quick opportunity to get a look. You have to work every possession if you're the Beavers.
Peyton set to take the inbound. He's coming off a career-high 25-point effort against Valpo, but it was kind of reflective, Lamar, wasn't it? The fact that just wasn't a game, the style that Oregon State wanted to play, because he took 25 shots to get his points.
You're right. That summed it up. And, you know, it's one of those things you can expect a little bit of in the non-conference as these new freshmen, although talented, and it made somewhat of a splash, you know, they got to figure out how to step into games. Upperclassmen have to figure out how to mesh together, and it's part of the building process.
Only a bucket on 1 of 5 shooting so far for Oregon State. 4 minutes in, and that'll send us to our first timeout. A foul on the floor goes against Shamar Johnson. A couple of threes for LMU, and they're out to an 8-2 start. The only 2 for OSU out of the hands of Olaf.
You're watching Pac-12 Oregon, home of the Oregon State Beavers and the Oregon Ducks, available on Xfinity.
Behind every open heart is a story. A story about finishing the race, no matter what the obstacles. About rebuilding the bond between a mother and a daughter. Or about helping build homes for others, because you remember what it felt like not to have one. When you keep an open heart, amazing things happen. That's what the Open Hearts collection at Kay Jewelers is all about.
Right now, save up to 20% on select Open Hearts jewelry at Kay.
Keep your heart open, and love will always find its way in.
Every kiss begins with Kay.
It's coming. The college football playoff is getting closer, and the fans are getting crazier. You gotta have your head on a swivel. Stadium's a war zone. And I'm armed with Dr. Pepper. The stakes are higher, because with the playoff on the line, every game is a big game.
Come on!
You got me again.
Coming up Sunday on a special Inside Pac-12 Football. The conference has a record 10 bowl-eligible teams. Find out where each is going and how they match up. It's the Bowl Selection Special, Sunday night, 8 p.m. Pacific on Pac-12 Network.
December 1989, the last time these two programs met, with the high-flying Paul Westhead LMU Lions in Corvallis. Soon-to-be first-round picks Bo Kimball and Gary Payton dueled. Kimball went for 53, Payton 48, and 10 assists before fouling out. Both teams, Lamar, shot better than 58% from the floor. It was the Beavs' only home loss that season. Both teams went to the tournament. Neither program has been to the NCAA since. Our Reese's perfect combination, Bo Kimball and Gary Payton. Look at those shooting numbers.
Was there any defense in that game? Like, at all? I mean, like at all, JB, at all. With the glove playing in that game, was there any defense?
Hank Gathers did not play in that contest. Originally a USC Trojan. He would actually pass away that March at the West Coast Conference tournament. The Lions then reached the Elite Eight. Gathers had already collapsed earlier that season, was in a stretch of games that he took off. Bo Kimball, though, in his absence in that game and for the rest of that season, paying homage certainly. Second field goal for OSU belongs to Drew Eubanks on the putback.
I like the drive from Langston Morris Walker. He created that offensive rebound opportunity from Eubanks.
Brandon Brown, the 5'11" junior point guard. Adom Jacko, a junior, into the lineup, guarded by Eubanks. With 9 on the shot clock, there's a 3 from Stephen Haney Jr. Second chance inside Johnson. Eubanks controls for the Beavs. And the hit ahead to Morris Walker. Langston Morris Walker too strong. GP2 had hands on it. The Lions take it away and the Beavs come up empty.
Lions fortunate. That was a great outlet pass from Drew Eubanks. Oregon State just not able to convert on the chippy.
Jacko against Shaftanar. Brown on rotation, 10 on the timer. Duvivier stays in front defensively. Jacko a hard take. A lot of contact, no whistle. Another second chance opportunity for LMU.
Oregon State is going to have their hands full with LMU's big guys. I mean, even when they're not getting an offensive rebound, they're about a foot away from it because of how much banging they're doing down low before the shot's even taken.
All right, so how do you want to see OSU break down this zone?
Well, I like when they put GP2 on the short corner and allow him to play point from the short corner in the post area. You want to get the ball to the middle, but when you get it there, you got to make a decision like that. Quick decision, either shot or pass.
Well, Payton is not taking as many threes this year. He does miss there, and Shaftanar has 4 to beat 6.
Well, those are the kind of plays GP2 does make, the little tip to get the ball to his teammate to finish that play.
First time tonight, the Gill Coliseum crowd starting to get into it. A full Beaver Dam behind us with the students back in session following the Thanksgiving holiday. Touch. Off the mark, Duvivier pulls for the Beavs. Morris Walker on the move. He'll spin out of that. Shaftanar puts it down. Kicks Duvivier. Sweet feed to the shooter's pocket, and GP2 is on the offensive board.
I like the drive from Olaf Shaftanar. Draw 2. Force a closeout to Malcolm Duvivier. Now you got the defense scattered. They're not able to get a body on GP2.
So despite the ragged start offensively and on the defensive boards, it's just a 2-point deficit for the Beavs. Brown throws one up. Gary Payton II leading this team in rebounding. Shaftanar thought about it. Instead puts a hand-checking foul on Haney.
Now after a few stops, Oregon State able to establish some pace and some flow to this game. I like the fact that Shaftanar is now putting the ball on the floor. If he doesn't do that, he's not a mismatched guy.
Wayne Tinkle going to his bench to get a couple of freshmen in. Stevie Thompson Jr. and Trace Tinkle, his son.
And here's where, if you're Wayne Tinkle, you hope there's no drop-off. You've established that flow you've been looking for since tip. And now it's the job of these freshmen to come in and up the energy level.
Playing with 2 seniors in Shaftanar and Payton. New shot clock to work with for OSU. Eubanks, near side block. Back to the perimeter, Payton. No look pass. Shaftanar, the intended target. Gary cleans it up himself.
He just always comes up with those. I mean, a bit of an errant pass. Should have been stolen. But if his hands are around the ball, he's going to come up with it.
Both teams shooting sub 40% here in the starting segment of this contest. Jacko, tough fall away, no doubt. Wow.
Yeah, I was right. That was a tough shot. As he was going up, I was thinking he's letting Shaftanar off the hook because he has the advantage in the physicality department. A nice finesse fadeaway shot.
Payton can take a straight line drive, but Munoz Tutu reached in. Now Jacko's out of transition. Now here's a player who led the Lions in points and rebounds in their first 2 games. Hasn't led in either category since.
Well, this will be his kind of game because athletically, he's stronger than Shaftanar. And although Eubanks might be able to compete with him in that department a little bit, Eubanks is a freshman. He's still learning how to defend at this level.
Now, Thompson Jr. off the mark. He is Oregon State's 2nd leading scorer at this stage of the season.
Good pass.
Jacko's taking over from Brown.
Yeah, that time Brown was the creator. The nice crossover. Drew the defense, lobbed it up, just put it in an area for the big fella to go throw down.
Beavs got back to even at 10 up. 6 straight for the visitors. Eubanks can play above the rim himself.
Giving them a little taste of their own medicine.
GP2 gets the defensive assignment on Brown. Peter Herman working on Eubanks. Backs him down. Turns left shoulder. Good job by Shaftanar to get that check out.
Yeah, that could have been an over-the-back call. A lot of contact on that.
Behind the back. Thompson. Can't pay it off. Rebound down to Tutu. He'll push with some numbers. Spot up jumper. Haney Jr. Eubanks controls.
And Wayne Tinkle wanting to push the tempo because this tempo favors Oregon State. Although they're down by 4, if they play at this speed all game long, it favors them because they have more horses.
Another soft lob. Eubanks on the reverse throwdown from Tinkle. Timeout LMU. Lions and Beavers exchanging blows at Gill Coliseum.
I told you, Oregon State has more horses. What would Drew Eubanks be, a Clydesdale?
Pandora jewelry isn't just jewelry.
When I woke up this morning,
It's a connection made stronger in silver and gold.
fall in love, love, love.
This is more than a gift. It's a celebration of you. That's the gift of Pandora. Discover the art of you at Pandora stores and select Benbridge jeweler locations and find the perfect gift set.
The power of Comcast Spotlight. It's the power to be everywhere customers are, on every screen, in every conceivable niche. You get just the right viewers, in just the right neighborhoods, on just the right networks, on Xfinity.com and tons of awesome websites. The power of cable TV and online together. There's no simpler, easier, more powerful way to advertise.
I'm Bill. I'm a Vietnam veteran, and I was homeless.
I'm Anna, an Army veteran and recently homeless.
My name is William. I'm a U.S. Army vet, and I was homeless.
These veterans have homes thanks to help from local landlords and property owners. Please help us find homes for hundreds of others like them who've answered the call of duty. If you're a landlord or property owner and have rental vacancies, visit ahomeforeveryvet.net or call 503-988-6796.
It's the perfect time to get the gift you've waited for all year, the CR-V with rear-view camera standard. Hurry in to the Happy Honda Day sales event, and you can get a great deal on the best-selling SUV in its class, now at your Honda dealer.
2-point game, midway point of the opening half. Lions and Beavers tonight at Gill Coliseum. We know that football season is over here in Corvallis, but there's still the finale of the drive to catch all season long. We've been taking you inside the program. Oregon State and Utah, Corvallis, and Salt Lake City. Tonight, the finale presented by Lexus, only on Pac-12 Network. Mike Dunlap, who has been an assistant in the Pac-12 at places like Oregon, Arizona, and USC, and also a head coach in the NBA.
Yeah, he's somebody that before Wayne Tinkle got the job at Oregon State, the athletic department here was looking at Mike Dunlap, and you understand why. There's Trace Tinkle playing in the passing lanes.
Wait for help in transition and foul. Substitutions with Duvivier and Big G. Grigoriy Rakorchevich entering for OSU.
Trace Tinkle making it happen. If it weren't for Gary Payton II, a.k.a. The Thief, Trace would be leading Oregon State in steals.
Let's see how the Beavs do. Trailing by 2, and Gary takes his first blow of the evening at the 10-minute mark. And Thompson Jr. is their second leading scorer. Dead on the dribble here. The Beavs will keep it 26 on the timer.
I'm sure Mike Dunlap really loves his team's energy. I mean, they're out extending pressure. A lot of times when you do that, you're vulnerable to get beat on dribble penetration, but they're doing a pretty decent job containing on the drive without fouling often, and they're battling in the paint.
Shaftanar. 0 of 7 from three-point range to start for the Beavers. David Humphreys, a senior from South Australia, is into the contest. A dozen left to shoot. Brown takes the on ball, throws it up. Big G swats it out.
That's what Big G could either grab or let go over his head, but goes out on him. And here Oregon State has to be careful. Only 9 seconds on the shot clock. You know the lines are going to look for a quick hitter.
Shaftanar sits as Langston Morris Walker returns. Two to Brown, has to fire with 2 on the timer. Missed it all. And so a shot clock violation, the best defensive possession of the night for the Beavers.
Mike Dunlap telling his guards, drive. There are only 9 seconds on the clock. We have to get a shot up. He understands you don't want to have any empty possessions. You want to win a game against a quality Pac-12 opponent on the road.
Thompson attacks against the larger defender and turned it over. Brown hits the Jets in transition. Jacko takes the contact but can't finish.
Wow, a lot of contact. Referees really letting both teams play.
Duvivier knocked down. Could have been an offensive rebounding foul. Everything is fair game at this point. Except for the hip check.
You said that episode of The Drive is featuring Utah and Oregon State football, right? You didn't say nothing about LMU and Oregon State basketball.
Tommy Nunez, Darren Whites, Dudley Carr, our crew this evening. And at least for a couple of sequences, letting them play.
You know, the thing that all coaches ask from officials is to at least be consistent, and they're letting them play on both sides.
We have seen the LMU zone. Now we get a look at the Beavers 2-3. Boy, touch. Hard take, offensive foul.
Oh, that was a tough call. It looked like Big G might have slid into the area after the offensive player went airborne. We'll see a poor closeout from Thompson Jr. Like he was kind of in that motion. That's a tough one. It's a bang-bang play.
A full 2 minutes plus now of rest for Gary Payton II. See what the Beavers offense can muster without him on the floor. Duvivier, a baseline drive. Got caught up between 2. Another Oregon State turnover. 7 in the first half. And still 8 minutes to go.
LMU came to play. Their activity is impressive. They are all over the place, diving for loose basketballs, and it's the reason they're winning by 2.
This production is brought to you in part by McDonald's. I'm loving it.
With 4 times the resolution, nothing is more captivating. Ultra HD from Vizio.
We had no business plan. We had no money. My brother and I saw an opportunity and decided to go for it. We're really passionate about what we make, and although the paper bag business doesn't sound that interesting, it can be. NPAC was started by a family. We put family first. Whether you're related or not, you're treated as a part of the NPAC family. Bank of the West understands our values, and when we walk into the bank, we feel like family.
Only Wendy's makes a deal feel like a meal. Introducing our new 4 for $4. $4 for a junior bacon cheeseburger, nuggets, fries, and a drink. You're still sitting there? That's fresh, never frozen beef, sizzling bacon, and so much more. Get 4 for $4 now at Wendy's.
There are signs of affection, and then there are signs of affection. Use gas that cleans. Chevron with Techron. Care for your car.
I'm Wayne Tinkle, head men's basketball coach at Oregon State University. You're watching Pac-12 Oregon, where champions play. Go Beavs.
So how about we're strong with the ball? We've got 3 turnovers just on dribbling, from back tips, from dribbling into trouble. And so if we can attack these gaps instead of baseline where the bigs can rotate it off, it's much better.
Wayne Tinkle clearly not happy, and you understand why. Oregon State just not being strong with the basketball. 7 turnovers, and a lot of them is because of dribble penetration, over dribble penetration. You want to draw 2 against that zone, but you don't want to get sucked in so far that you lose your passing angles. And even on the last play, that's what happened to Malcolm Duvivier. Just went a little too far in and lost his angle to pass the basketball. But this is the kind of game, it is clear, the officials are letting them play. And Wayne Tinkle, being the type of tough guy he was as a player and also as a coach, he's expecting more from his team.
So back underway in a 2-point game, under 8 opening half. Lamar Hurd, J.B. Long, and Corvallis. A challenging December schedule beginning tonight for the Beavers. Adom Jacko has had a nice start for LMU. He sends it back to the perimeter.
Langston Morris Walker will have a task of boxing out Jacko.
4 left. David Humphreys from the elbow, too strong. Offensive rebound, squirts out to GP2 in the Beavs. Langston Morris Walker, and there's the first triple of the night for OSU.
That's a confidence shot. He didn't necessarily have the numbers. A bit of a broken fast break, but I like the shot because he had GP2 on the weak side to grab a rebound had he missed it.
With a small lineup on the floor, they'll stay in their zone defensively. Essentially 4 around Big G. Nunez 2-2 on the bounce. Tipped away by Thompson. 3 left. You've already seen a shot clock violation and a couple of hurries from LMU offensively.
Wayne Tinkle applauding the effort of his team. Thompson Jr., although not able to get the steal, you like the activity with the hands. You want to limit the vision that LMU has.
Tough floater goes for 2-2, and that snaps a 4-minute scoring drought.
Well, how about the difference in that low shot clock situation than what we saw the time before where they had 9 seconds and they were relegated to a long 3-point shot. Good recognition.
At the wing with Morris Walker. Sees 2 defenders, hits Tinkle. Trace Tinkle. It's been cold shooting to start his freshman season, 27% from the floor. Stevie Thompson Jr. with the steal. Trying to avoid contact. Offensive, indeed. Going the other way.
Consistency. I think if that play earlier on where Oregon State drew the offensive foul, I mean, it looked the same. Nice defense from Stevie Thompson Jr. Not a whole lot of contact directly through the chest. But again, in terms of consistency, you could live with the call.
Only the second team foul in this opening half on Oregon State. It's been a low fouling affair. The Lions just 4 personals themselves. Johnson turns left shoulder. Try to pop a shot in. PJ Bruce breaks out. Baseline drive, Morris Walker. Nice find. Gary Payton II. Had time to line it up. It's pulled by Spears.
Good offense. Good pass from Morris Walker.
2-2 drops it off. Johnson, no good. Korchevich boards.
How about Gary Payton II changing that shot? That should have been a wide open layup. But GP2 comes out of nowhere to contest on that play.
We are still looking for the first steal of the night from Gary Payton II. He can tie his father's school record for consecutive games with a steal here in Corvallis tonight. He's on 36. His father did it 37 games in a row during his tenure.
He'll get it. I mean, he's too good when he gets around the basketball. Already tonight, he maybe didn't come up with the steal, but he helped cause some turnovers.
Bruce. Bang.
You know the freshman can handle the basketball, and if you didn't know, now you know he can also shoot it.
So OSU has its first lead of the evening as we hit the 5-minute mark. Brandon Brown against Morris Walker. Gets it back on the handoff with 9 to shoot. Tosses it to the rim. Wayne Tinkle wanted to travel.
It looked unorthodox for sure, but I think he did get it off before taking that extra step and traveling. Let's take a look at that again.
Tinkle short corner, but a 3-second violation on Korchevich, and we'll take another look here.
Some nice drive, nice dribble, handoff action. Morris Walker gets caught up a little bit. Technically, he took the extra step, but that's the extra step you always see if a guy gets a fast break layup. You know, it doesn't look too weird because you shoot it with the right hand, you go off the left foot as long as it's opposite hand, opposite foot. Kind of balances itself out, but technically it was 3.
I think the whole drive looked weird enough. It threw the officials off. 2-2 trying to cross over. Morris Walker was ready. 3-on-1. He goes to GP2. No whistle? Really? To the free throw line eventually goes Langston Morris Walker.
Another nice defensive stop led to a run out. GP2 was calling for the ball from the time Morris Walker got it. And there was some contact, but you got to credit Morris Walker for not giving up because you could easily have a tendency to drop the ball off to GP2 in the paint and expect him to dunk on somebody.
Munoz Tutu, a freshman from Windsor, Canada, a native of Egypt, is still down on the baseline. And get some assistance and a round of applause from the Corvallis crowd.
Oh.
So there was not a whistle on that particular play, but on this sequence, the follow, Langston Morris Walker on the way up. So he'll get a pair of free throws. These are the first free throws of the night for either team. Morris Walker has scored 1 point in the past 2 games, and getting him and Olaf Schoftenar going is a priority for the Beavers before this month of December is out and the conference season begins.
It's a little bit of what he did last year. You know, he had certain games where he scored well in double figures. In some games, he kind of went away. Next game, he makes 3 or 4 3-point shots.
I'm told that they credited Payton with a steal to start that sequence. So at least according to the play-by-play, he has tied his father's record. We will verify at the next stoppage. I think it was Langston Morris
Walker came over with that ball.
Jacko from the baseline, and he hits a jumper. It's been a nice opening half. 8 points for him. Adom Jacko.
He's going to be the key to how long LMU can hang in his game and if they can potentially win it, because if he doesn't run out of gas, he's giving Oregon State all they can handle.
3.5 to go before the break. We'll get a media stoppage next whistle. This whole game's been played within 6 points. Ooh, that was almost it officially, and he stopped by the scores table on his way to the bench. Well, you tell us, is this the one that ties his father's record at 37 consecutive games?
He didn't touch the ball. GP2, you cannot take that You cannot have that on your record.
Are you okay, Mom? Yes, I am.
You can never go too far for the ones you love. Help them go further with the protection of life insurance from New York Life. Get started today.
I decided to tell the story of our life together. Spoiler alert, we live happily ever after.
At Jared, we only sell one piece of jewelry, the Pandora bracelet you had created just for her. And it's waiting for you at Jared.
The only way to get better is to challenge yourself. And that's what we're doing at Xfinity. We are challenging ourselves to improve every aspect of your experience. And this includes our commitment to being on time, every time. That's why if we're ever late for an appointment, we'll credit your account $20. It's our promise to you. We're doing everything we can to give you the best experience possible. Because we should fit into your life, not the other way around.
Station Portland on Space to Ground 3. Ready to close valve 2.
Standing by with our State Farm halftime report. In 3:21 of game time, we're going to send you to San Francisco for the Knights in men's basketball. And on the football front, Scott Frost, offensive coordinator at Oregon, is now the head coach at Central Florida. Earlier tonight on the Pac-12 network, Josh Scott picked up his 26th career double-double, moving in the top 10 in CU history, 24 and 15 to lead a win over Fort Lewis.
If he stays healthy, watch out. Because Colorado is better than a 7th place team in the conference, which is what they were picked at preseason.
Here at Gill, LMU driving hard. Brandon Brown extends the Lions' lead.
I'm telling you, Wayne Tinkle is on the sideline boiling right now, wondering why his bigs are not stepping up and hedging, turning the guards back on those screens.
Schaftenar's back on the floor. Eubanks as well. PJ Bruce passes on 3. A dozen left to shoot for DeVivier.
I would have liked to have seen PJ Bruce shoot that shot.
What
nice.
A catch by Eubanks.
You said it. The catch. That was the impressive part. GP2 really threading the needle, throwing a bit of a risky pass, but the risk level is reduced because Eubanks has already exhibited he has the ability, once that ball is in his area, to snatch it and then go up and finish.
Eubanks 4 of 4 from the floor. He's got 5 rebounds, and he connects to make it a 3-point play. Trace Tinkle will check in to take his place.
Oregon State again going somewhat small, with Schaftenar being the biggest guy, Tinkle the next biggest. So it's going to require them to gain rebound. Can't just be one guy boxing out Jacko. He's a low down low.
Brown's got some handle to him.
He does.
Low to the ground.
And he's been living in the paint so far this game.
A kicked around in the key. Schaftenar has it for the Bees. Bruce races it down the floor. Olaf Schaftenar. For 3.
Nice pass from DeVivier. That was open because Gary Payton II was lurking on the baseline. The defender did not want to leave him, and so they gave up the 3 instead.
Fortunate not to turn it over there as Spears lost the handle. A 3 spins home for David Humphreys.
Well, you have to credit Spears on the pass because Humphreys didn't relocate after that initial pass into the paint, as Schaftenar clearly is feeling it.
He hit that one from Dutch Brothers. They started 0 of 8 from the three-point line. They've hit 4 now before the half.
Goes back to the point that you made the last time we sat here and did one of these guys' games. Schaffenauer could be that difference maker because of this. He can extend. He can go into the paint and finish. He can pass. He does so many different things. But he's only valuable if he does all of it and is not just a one-dimensional guy. And he's doing it as the 5. He's stepping out as the 5 in that small ball for Wayne Tinkle. A reminder, the State Farm halftime report is upcoming. Hoops highlights and the latest from Pac-12 football as well. Guy Haberman in 1:46 of game time. Carrier up with some instructions for Ola Schaftenar, who's hit a couple of threes, and he's the first Beaver to double figures. You know, they're going to need this from Olaf long-term moving forward because I mentioned this before. When Daniel Gomez comes back, decisions are going to have to be made. And even Jamal Reed, you're talking about 4 or 5 guys now that play 2 positions. There's not going to be minutes for everybody. And so if you're Olaf Schaftenar, you want to consistently show you can knock that shot down so that they have to keep you on the court. And that's why he has to bang threes, is because defensively, you're going to give something up. Adom Jacko has been the story of the first half of the Lions. Bruce using the up fake to get to the lane, and he's rejected by Jacko. 18 left on the shot clock. Nice drive from Bruce, but he's already made a 3-point shot. I wouldn't mind seeing him let one more go if he catches in rhythm and is wide open. But you can't fault him turning it down and getting all the way to the basket. Tinkle stops at the elbow. 10 on the timer. Lions matched up defensively. Bruce gets the switch. Crossing over. Schaftenar again. This time off the mark, and a good board for Humphreys. Brandon Brown to the baseline and foul. That'll go against Bruce. It'll be his first, 3rd on the Beavers. Brown was quick. You have to locate him in defensive transition right away. 2015 JUCO D2 Player of the Year, twice an All-American at that level. He's 24 years old, Brown is. Spent 2.5 years in prison for armed robbery charges for an incident that occurred when he was just shy of his 16th birthday. I'd like to thank Mike Parker from Oregon State Radio for putting us on to that angle. Spears hits the heel. Schaftenar corrals it for the Beavers. Shot clock turned off. Tinkle wants to play for 1. No more 5-second on the live dribble, so Oregon State can keep the ball in the hands of one guy, but you got to expect it's going to get into GP2's hands at some point, probably around a 6-second mark. They have led at halftime of all 4 of their wins this season. DeVivier with 4. Malcolm DeVivier to Bruce. Couldn't get it to go at the horn, so it's a 1-point edge for the Beavs against LMU at Gill Coliseum. Got to give LMU a lot of credit. You wonder if they have enough gas in the tank to keep up the same level of energy that they've been playing with, but they are a quality opponent. Oregon State will have to play better if they want to win this game in the second half. Jacko with 10 for LMU. Schaftenar, double figures for the Bees. Guy Haberman with our State Farm halftime report next.
Red 97! Set! Red 97!
Did you say 97?
Yes.
You know, that reminds me of Geico's 97% customer satisfaction rating.
97%?
Helped by Geico's fast and friendly claim service.
Oh yeah, baby. Geico's as fast and friendly as it gets.
Geico. Expect great savings and a whole lot more.
In the West, we do things a little differently. Our commutes are a bit more fun. Farm to table is a shorter trip. And the gym is optional. Out here, we're not just on the lookout for new, better ways to do things. We actually create them. Like a new way to securely pay bills with the tap of our finger. We call it Scan to Pay. It's a better way to pay bills. And it's another reason to go West. Bank of the West.
A typical male penguin shows his love by offering the female a pebble. Some male penguins, however, are a little smarter than others.
This Christmas, everyone loves a gift from Kay Jewelers. Right now, save 25% on any Bulova watch. Just one more reason why Kay is the #1 jewelry store in America.
And apparently Antarctica.
Every kiss begins with Kay.
It's coming. The college football playoff is getting closer, and the fans are getting crazier. You gotta have your head on a swivel. Stadium's a war zone, and I'm armed with Dr. Pepper. The stakes are higher, because with the playoff on the line, every game is a big game.
Come on!
You got me again.
In our San Francisco studios, I'm Guy Haberman with the State Farm Halftime Report. We'll get you back to the second half of Oregon State hosting LMU in a bit, but first, highlights. It was Colorado in action earlier today, taking on Fort Lewis. Josh Scott ready to roll. Colorado's won 5 in a row, first half, leading early. Dom Collier finds Scott, who had 24 points and 15 boards in this game. End of the first, Colorado in transition. There's Torrey Miller for the dunk. Buffs go up 46-41. Miller had 10 points off the bench. In the second, up by 7. When George King would hit the three-pointer, King had 5 points, came off the bench tonight. Buffs up 10. And then on the next possession, it's Trayshawn Fletcher. 4-3. Buffs go on to win 95-71, improve to 6-1 on the season. Denzel Valentine and Michigan State hosting Louisville, part of the Big Ten ACC Challenge. In the first half, they were down, but it was Deontay Davis who got up for the dunk, cutting the lead to 6. In the second, Louisville up by 6 when Donovan Mitchell on the backside of the hoop from Quentin Snyder. Cardinals up by 8. Second half now tied at 58. Where is Denzel Valentine? Well, he's all alone and he's draining a three-pointer. He had 25 points in the game. Next time down the court, he finds Deontay Davis for the hoop. Spartans go on to win and improve to 8-0. Jim Boeheim in Syracuse hosting Wisconsin. Q's up 3 in the second half, but Michael Bittiger would knock down a deep three-pointer and make it a 53-48 game right there. Later in the half, though, Badgers are down 3, and Bronson Koenig gets open on the wing, knocks down a three-pointer, ties the game, and we go to overtime. In overtime, tied at 55. Nigel Hayes is there for the lay-in and the foul. He'd make the free throw. He had a double-double, 15 and 12. Same score, Ethan Happ slips under the basket and dunks it in. Wisconsin hands Syracuse its first loss of the season. Time now for our State Farm halftime assist, and this one is a departure. Oregon State quarterback Nick Mitchell has decided to transfer out of the program. Mitchell started 5 games this season after Seth Collins got hurt. He completed 45% of his passes before he was eventually replaced himself during the Washington game. As this State Farm halftime report continues, a sports report update comes your way next.
Pac-12 basketball halftime is presented by State Farm. It pays to double check. Talk to your agent today.
Most people know the 4 C's of a diamond. Now, Kay Jewelers brings you the newest C, chocolate. Levion Chocolate Diamonds. Only Levion, masters of jewelry designed for centuries, makes jewelry with rare chocolate diamonds. Save up to 20% on select Levion styles with dazzling designs that she's sure to love. At Kay, the #1 jewelry store in America. Levion Chocolate Diamonds, for the sweetest thing in your life.
Every kiss begins with Kay.
As I looked around at my friends that day, I knew things would never be the same. The long cut changed us. Sure, there'd be marriages, kids, divorces, life,
Dude.
but
It's an inner monologue, okay? Inner.
Oh, was I just speaking out loud? My bad.
Fuel your long cut with top-tier gas from 76.
Saturday, Pac-12 Network is the place to get exclusive coverage and behind-the-scenes access on the Pac-12 Football Championship game. Join us before and after Stanford and USC go head-to-head for our pregame show and postgame report. Presented by Geico. Coverage begins on Saturday at 3:30 on Pac-12 Network. Or watch on Pac-12 Now.
Home of the Oregon State Beavers and the Oregon Ducks. You're watching Pac-12 Oregon.
I believe in Oregon State. I believe in her traditions. A heritage from the deeds and dreams of yesterday. I believe in her sportsmanship and honor, a reality with the students of today. I believe in her aspirations and her ideals, the assurance of a magnificent tomorrow.
Welcome back to our San Francisco studios. I'm Guy Haberman with this Pac-12 Oregon Sports Report update. There is news on the football front for the Oregon Ducks. A change. Offensive coordinator Scott Frost introduced today under his new title, Central Florida head coach. The 40-year-old Frost departs after 3 years as the Ducks OC. This year, Frost directed a Ducks offense that led the Pac-12 in scoring as the only team in the conference to score over 40 points per game. Meanwhile, good news. Women's volleyball is in the NCAA tournament for the 5th straight season, facing the number 6 overall seed Wisconsin Thursday in Madison. Ducks finished the season hot, having won 4 of their last 5 matches, the only loss being to the 5 seed Washington. Now, a win on Thursday would mean a Friday night meeting with either Iowa State or Miami. That'll do it for this Sports Report update. We'll send you back to Gill Coliseum in Corvallis. Coming up next.
Pandora jewelry isn't just jewelry.
When I woke up this morning,
It's a connection made stronger in silver and gold.
fall in love, love, love.
This is more than a gift. It's a celebration of you. That's the gift of Pandora. Discover the art of you at Pandora stores and select Benbridge jeweler locations and find the perfect gift set.
Only Wendy's makes a deal feel like a meal. Introducing our new 4 for $4. $4 for a junior bacon cheeseburger, nuggets, fries, and a drink. You're still sitting there? That's fresh, never frozen beef, sizzling bacon, and so much more. Get 4 for $4 now at Wendy's.
Are you okay, Mom? Yes, I am.
You can never go too far for the ones you love. Help them go further with the protection of life insurance from New York Life. Get started today.
Join the search for the perfect home on House Hunters. Here's a nature lover's dream house.
I think I just got hit in the face by a spider.
Bargain hunters will love this smoking deal.
I smell a stinky cigarette smell.
Ooh, and look, this one has a trendy outdoor kitchen.
The refrigerator is actually on the back porch.
I'm not going to the backyard for eggs.
Watch House Hunters every weeknight at 10 only on HGTV.
Forget the predictions, the upsets, the surprises. That's the past. Milestones en route to a higher goal. The race to the end game begins now. When the championship trophy is raised and the confetti flies, we'll bring the drama from the field and behind the scenes to your screens. Watch Pac-12 Networks, where champions play.
With 4 times the resolution, nothing is more captivating. Ultra HD from Vizio.
State Farm Halftime Report continues from Corvallis. Welcome back to Gill Coliseum. LMU and OSU in a 1-point contest after 20 minutes. And courtside with Lamar Hurd, JB Long, hope you're having a great week, everyone. That entire first half played within 6 points, and LMU had the lead for 14 minutes of it.
Tightly contested. The officials made it clear that they're going to let these teams bang and play physical, and early on it favored LMU. Bang and play physical, and early on it favored LMU. They're big.
Time report is upcoming. Hoops highlights and the latest from Pac-12 football as well. Guy Haberman in 1:46 of game time. Carrier up with some instructions for Ola Schaftenar, who's hit a couple of threes, and he's the first. Bruce races it down the floor. Olaf Schaftenar for three. On halftime report in 3:21 of game time. We're going to send you to San Francisco for the men's basketball. And on the football, offensive coordinator at Oregon is now the head coach at Central Florida. Earlier tonight on the Pac-12 network, Josh Scott picked up his 26th career double-double to move into the top 10 in CU history. 24 and 15 to lead a win over Fort Lewis.
If he stays healthy, watch out. This Colorado is better than a 7th place team in the conference, which is what they were picked at preseason.
Here at Gill, LMU driving hard. Brandon Brown extends the Lions' lead.
I'm telling you, Wayne Tinkle is on the sideline boiling right now, wondering why his bigs are not stepping up and hedging, turning the guards back on those screens.
Schaftenar is back on the floor. Eubanks as well. PJ Bruce passes on three. A dozen left to shoot for DeVivier.
I would have liked to have seen PJ Bruce shoot that shot.
What
nice.
A catch by Eubanks.
You said it, the catch. That was the impressive part. GP2 really threading the needle, throwing a bit of a risky pass, but the risk level is reduced because Eubanks has already exhibited he has the ability, once that ball is in his area, to snatch it and then go up and finish.
Eubanks 4 of 4 from the floor. He's got 5 rebounds, and he connects to make it a 3-point play. Trace Tinkle will check in to take his place.
Oregon State again going somewhat small, with Schaftenar being the biggest guy, Tinkle the next biggest. So it's going to require them to gain rebound. Can't just be one guy boxing out Jacko. He's a low down low.
Brown's got some handle to him.
He does.
Low to the ground.
And he's been living in the paint so far this game.
A kicked around in the key. Schaftenar has it for the Bees. Bruce races it down the floor. Olaf Schaftenar for three.
Nice pass from DeVivier. That was open because Gary Payton II was lurking on the baseline. The defender did not want to leave him, and so they gave up the three instead.
Inspire us to do more, and doing more is what Going West is all about. Go West, Bank of the West.
LMU picked last out of 10 teams in the West Coast Conference, but they put up a good 20 minutes on the road here in Corvallis. They're within 1 of Oregon State. Our first half stats with LMU shooting at 43% and OSU 38. Coming in, the Lions had a +5 turnover margin to rank in the top 20 nationally. You can see why. They do take good care of the basketball.
They do. They take good care of it, and they force turnovers. They got Oregon State to dribble a little too deep. They took away their passing angles, and their energy level was greater than Oregon State's. But you got to believe both coaches aren't necessarily happy with their team's play, and the way you know that is when they come out of the halftime break with a minute on the clock. You know, there's a lot of talking going on in both locker rooms. Both teams want this game.
to reset the stage for this second half, on the strength of our State Farm halftime reporting, they have taken away the steal from Gary Payton II.
They stole it back.
He is back to 0, and he still needs one to keep the streak alive and match his father for a longest consecutive streak of games with the steal in Oregon State history. Langston Morris Walker tucks it through.
That's a nice home bounce. Soft touch.
A lead out to 4, and that is the largest of the night for Oregon State. They led for just 3.5 minutes in the opening half. Jacko has been phenomenal. And Schoftenar stopping short of the midway stripe. Here's Payton. Drops it off Eubanks. Nearly got a 3-point opportunity. Drew Eubanks, who's on 9 points for the night.
Good drop off from GP2, attacking that paint hard. If the defender does not think you're actually going to rise up to score the basketball, they're not going to respect you. They won't rotate over. And GP2 has put more than one person on a poster, so you know you better step over quickly.
We mentioned his hand, speaking of Eubanks, in the first half, his ability to catch the basketball. You can tell that he has earned assists from GP2. Gary doesn't have to give that up to a freshman. But because of what he's done with it on the catch early in this season, he's getting those opportunities.
And he's earned not only the right to touch the ball in the paint, but you'll see them get in a fast break situation and throw him the ball at the top of the key, because he has shown he knows what to do with it from there as well.
Schoftenar trailing the play. Back to Payton. Schoftenar hit a couple of threes in that opening half. Skip past Langston. Morris Walker to the hole.
Good ball fake for Morris Walker. It started with the skip pass from GP2. The ball was stuck on that left side of the floor. They got the skip. Poor closeout. Nice ball fake from Morris Walker. And a nice slam.
7 of the first 9 points of the second half belong to the Beavers. Timeout, Mike Dunlap and LSU.
There's no one I'd rather share with.
No one I'd rather have dinner and a movie with.
No one I'd rather lean on.
Being in love is an amazing thing. Being in love with your best friend is everything. Introducing the Ever Us 2-stone ring. 1 diamond for your best friend, 1 for your true love. For the one woman in your life who's both. Ever Us. New this holiday at Kay, Jared, and Zales.
The power of Comcast Spotlight. It's the power to be everywhere customers are, on every screen, in every conceivable niche. You get just the right viewers, in just the right neighborhoods, on just the right networks, on Xfinity.com and tons of awesome websites. The power of cable TV and online together. There's no simpler, easier, more powerful way to advertise.
Join the search for the perfect home on House Hunters. Here's a nature lover's dream house.
I think I just got hit in the face by a spider.
Bargain hunters will love this smoking deal.
I smell a stinky cigarette smell.
Ooh, and look, this one has a trendy outdoor kitchen.
The refrigerator is actually on the back porch.
I'm not going to the backyard for eggs.
Watch House Hunters every weeknight at 10 only on HGTV.
Coming up Sunday on a special Inside Pac-12 Football. The conference has a record 10 bowl-eligible teams. Find out where each is going and how they match up. It's the Bowl Selection Special, Sunday night, 8 p.m. Pacific on Pac-12 Network.
Fast start to the second half of the Oregon State Beavers. Langston Morris Walker puts it down and gets to the rim. I don't know, Lamar, you like that dunk better or this one from UC Santa Barbara?
Oh, Big Wayne. I got to go with Wayne Tinkle on this one. First of all, he is not warmed up. All right, that was just spur of the moment. But here's what Captain, watch this, JB. Let him know how you feel, Coach. Let him know how you really feel. I mean, Langston didn't really give you a whole lot.
Is he looking at Wayne? Is he looking back at his?
You know, he might be. He might be. But you love that kind of stuff as a player. Your coach can shoot the ball or get out and dunk it. Not a lot of coaches can still get up above the rim.
So back underway with the Beavs on top by 6. They run a set for Spears.
Good execution.
High low, swatted out of the hands of Shamar Johnson.
Well, you got to like the play call from Mike Dunlap coming out of the break. They got what they wanted, the ball to the middle, forced Eubanks to step up and defend, and Morris Walker saved the day.
A whistle out of the baseline under. Malcolm DeVivier, too physical. And on Wayne Tinkle's staff is Stephen Thompson, and we wish him a happy birthday. We're celebrating the Pac-12 centennial year. And on this date, 100 years ago, the conference was founded. The original members, Cal, Washington, Oregon, and Oregon State. So Stevie Thompson and the Pac-12 share a birthday. He is, of course, not 100.
I'll say he looks good for...
We won't reveal his age. We'll say it's somewhere between his son and the Pac-12.
Oh,
we're going to wave that bucket off. Foul on the floor will be the second on OSU in the second half.
Another drive from Brandon Brown. He's lived in the paint since the start of this game. Critical possession for LMU. 6-point deficit. You don't want to allow Oregon State to establish momentum. They found an answer every time they've been in this predicament so far this game.
Full shot clock to work with. Haney Jr. here. He is a cousin, believe it or not, of Magic Johnson. To the corner, Josh Spears a bit flat. Another offensive rebound. A new shot clock for LMU. Adom Jacko.
Wow.
Putting on a show.
With the Beavers sitting in that zone, it is tough to rebound, but at the same time, they had a chance to get the rebound on that initial miss, but they didn't put a body on the LMU offensive rebounder.
That's a poor post entry, as good as Eubanks' hands are. Tough to handle there from Payton II. Jacko faces up on Schaftenar. Olaf held his ground. And a travel.
Good calls, the shuffle of the feet. How about Jacko? I mean, that should have been a turnover. But he was able to retrieve that and get it to his teammate.
Dunlap sends David Humphreys into the contest. Jeffrey McClendon, a freshman from Pasadena as well. Stephen Haney sits along with Josh Spears. LMU will match up on this trip defensively. 3 minutes into the second half. Now back-to-back terrible post entries by the Beavers. Jacko throws it down in transition.
Jacko is a man.
Well, he's been great off that LMU bench. In fact, all of his top scoring performances as a Lion have been off the bench, so they may have found their sixth man.
The style of this game has favored him. This is a physical game.
Now he and the Lions get a steal. 2-on-2. Humphreys passed on the wing, 3 over to Brown. Good recovery defensively by the Beavers. Chance to tie or take the lead for LMU. Brown off the high screen. Another floater. Jacko rising above, and Eubanks meets him at the rim.
You love the play if you're Wayne Tinkle, from the standpoint that Eubanks comes out of nowhere, goes up and contests that shot, but you don't like how LMU got to that shot. There was a poor hedge at the top of the key that allowed Brown to mosey down the paint, and Jacko was able to get the offensive rebound when he shouldn't have been involved in the play had there been a better hedge up top.
A couple of high ball screens for Payton. He turns the corner, came up short. Scrapped it out. You wonder if that would be a rebound and a steal.
That's one you can understand, but I'm not sure if LMU had full possession of the ball. But GP2 is so good at doing that.
Trace Tinkle, the shot clock did not reset. He collects his own, tied up with Shamar Johnson, and the arrow favors the Lions. A timeout on the floor. Our under 16 media timeout. Oregon State's by 2 over the Lions.
Fans, Benny is on the court with our 2 contestants for game.
When a moment turns romantic, why pause to take a pill? Or stop to find a bathroom? Cialis for daily use is approved to treat both erectile dysfunction and the urinary symptoms of BPH, like needing to go frequently, day or night. Tell your doctor about all your medical conditions and medicines and ask if your heart is healthy enough for sex. Do not take Cialis if you take nitrates for chest pain, as it may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Do not drink alcohol in excess. Side effects may include headache, upset stomach, delayed backache, or muscle ache. To avoid long-term injury, get medical help right away for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. If you have any sudden decrease or loss in hearing or vision, or any symptoms of an allergic reaction, stop taking Cialis and get medical help right away. Ask your doctor about Cialis and a $200 savings card.
When you need something utterly unique to wear, go to your wardrobe. Your jewelry wardrobe. Jared, the Galleria of Jewelry for the ultimate selection of Levion. Only Levion, masters of jewelry design for centuries, makes jewelry with chocolate diamonds. Gorgeous, trend-setting looks like this limited edition piece you can only find at Jared, making Levion the essential part of her jewelry wardrobe. That's why she went to Jared.
Only Wendy's makes a deal feel like a meal. Introducing our new 4 for $4. $4 for a junior bacon cheeseburger, nuggets, fries, and a drink. You're still sitting there? That's fresh, never frozen beef, sizzling bacon, and so much more. Get 4 for $4 now at Wendy's.
This Pac-12 basketball game is brought to you by Clean, Crisp, Coors Light. With great beer comes great responsibility. Back at Gill Coliseum, it has been a tense night for the official scorekeepers here in Corvallis because there's a record watch on, and this was credited as a rebound and then a GP2 steal. So now we can say, we think, he has matched his father 37 games in a row.
I got nothing but love for GP2, and I think even with that, he'll still get another steal in this game. But there wasn't a whole lot of possession in that play from Jacko. He didn't have the ball for that long, but you got to believe Pops loves what he's seen from his son defensively, although he doesn't necessarily smile a whole lot.
How about that old OSU logo on the left there?
Yeah. I like that old logo.
Well, bigger matters at hand as we resume. 15 and a half to go, and it's a one-possession contest. Lions with the basketball. Round to the corner, Jeffrey McClendon. And now Jacko. He's been the star of the night. He leads all scorers.
Doing everything. This is one of those games when guys start looking for post-career aspirations, playing overseas and that kind. This is game tape. And do this against a Pac-12 opponent that should fare pretty well in the conference this year. It's impressive.
Brown takes the personal foul to be the second on the Lions. Meanwhile, GP2 has not done much offensively, just 2 of 7 from the floor.
It's one of those games where he's had to facilitate a little bit more. You could tell he's making a conscious effort to try to get teammates involved.
Does have 6 assists. Trace Tinkle rising for the putback.
You don't put a body on him, you better believe Trace Tinkle will be in that paint. He is probably the most rugged, tough player that Oregon State has.
His first bucket. Beavs back on top. What's the answer for Jacko defensively, Lamar?
Well, if he's on the block, you have a chance to double team him. But Oregon State not doing a really good job in the ball screen defense, and it's allowing him to pick and pop to a 10-foot range. You can't do anything about that except hope he misses.
Brown has to go with the short clock. Offensive rebound. McClendon feeds inside, and Eubanks shuts it down. Ooh, a hard screen from Payton. They've got numbers. He throws to the rim. What a sequence.
This has been a grown man's game from the tip. Officials are letting both sides play, so who's going to be tougher? Here's Drew Eubanks coming from behind with the block, and GP2 rewarding the big man with a and one.
It'll go as the second foul on Adom Jacko, and Eubanks already into double figures. Makes it a three-point play.
That possession was significant because you feel like that's the first time Oregon State finally hit back.
Boyd Tots throws to the corner. Payton defending Brown. Johnson looking for options. Brandon Brown with 5 to shoot. 2 defenders on him. Jacko stepping back on Eubanks. Well defended, but they can't collect the board.
Good first shot defense from Oregon State, but again, it became that toughness game. Once the shot went up, LMU, they're pushing, they're scrapping. They're doing all of their work before the ball even hits the rim, and it's allowing them to get inside position on these offensive rebounds.
They have 8 of those tonight, offensive boards. New shot clock to work with. Boyd Tots dribbles it out. From the corner, a 3 is short. Spears missing, Payton boarding. He never really did pick it up, but last touch by the Lions.
Good board from GP2. He's trying to hit ahead, but as you said, never able to corral the basketball. He saw his teammates running. And that's what Oregon State wants, stops and run.
Tinkle triggers it in, playing with Payton, Stevie Thompson Jr. in the backcourts. Has not been a great three-point shooting night for the best three-point shooter on the team. Josh Spears, pass deflected. Haney able to retrieve it. Jacko, there are the 2 defenders you were talking about, and a third from Payton. And that is absolutely a steal. The baseball pass from the would-be pitcher from Oregon. No foul, just knocked out. And GP2 shaken up. So much to love on that sequence, including the first true steal of the night for GP2.
Yeah, now this one is a real one. And as I said, when Jacko's got his back to the basket and posting up, now you can bring the double team, you bring the help. GP2 clearly gets the steal on that one.
How about the baseball pass from the 6'10 Eubanks?
Great pass. A great pass from Eubanks. We've seen that from him. It's one of the things that makes him so valuable. Talking about valuable, GP2 is the most valuable player on this team, and he's going out right now with a 5-point game.
Well, Tinkle collected his own deflection, but could not finish it. P.J. Bruce into the contest for Payton.
Now remember, in the first half, we saw a segment of time when GP2 was subbed out. Oregon State wasn't able to score. They can't afford that right now.
Fortunately for them, the Lions couldn't either. Eubanks comes off the block to make the catch. Great cut by Stevie Thompson. He's not hitting the threes, but he gets the 2 and nearly picked up a steal.
Even though he's not making his threes, you have to respect him. You look at his resume, he's proven he can knock it down. So that attention from the three-point line opens up cutting lanes for him.
Lions rotate to the corner, halfway through their shot clock. Spears driving on Tinkle. Jump stop, hits Haney Jr. That is a clutch 3 for LMU.
It was big because there wasn't a lot of opportunity for offensive rebound and all that. Had he missed that, Oregon State would have been off and running.
Offensive foul, no doubter there, as Tinkle decked the second defender. Jacko doing it at both ends. And a timeout us, under 12 to go. It's a 1-possession game. Stevie Thompson Jr. off the cut for his first field goal.
In the West, we do things a little differently. Our commutes are a bit more fun. Farm to table is a shorter trip. And the gym is optional. Out here, we're not just on the lookout for new, better ways to do things. We actually create them. Like a new way to securely pay bills with the tap of our finger. We call it Scan to Pay. It's a better way to pay bills. And it's another reason to go West. Bank of the West.
Join the search for the perfect home on House Hunters. Here's a nature lover's dream house.
I think I just got hit in the face by a spider.
Bargain hunters will love this smoking deal.
I smell a stinky cigarette smell.
Ooh, and look, this one has a trendy outdoor kitchen.
The refrigerator is actually on the back porch.
I'm not going to the backyard for eggs.
Watch House Hunters every weeknight at 10 only on HGTV.
The only way to get better is to challenge yourself. And that's what we're doing at Xfinity. We are challenging ourselves to improve every aspect of your experience. And this includes our commitment to being on time, every time. That's why if we're ever late for an appointment, we'll credit your account $20. It's our promise to you. We're doing everything we can to give you the best experience possible. Because we should fit into your life, not the other way around.
It's the perfect time to get the gift you've waited for all year. The redesigned Honda Accord, complete with a new look, improved fuel efficiency, and Pandora compatibility standard. Hurry into the Happy Honda Day sales event where you can get a great deal on the Accord, the most durable, longest-lasting car in its class. Now at your Honda dealer.
OSU 44, LMU 42. Let's take a look at our State Farm exists to assist. Gary Payton has 7 of them on the night.
That's what you got to do when you know in the last game guys weren't involved. You shot 25 times. The next highest field goal attempt was 8. And so you come out in this game and you say, I'm going to spread the wealth. I'm going to get everybody else involved. And best believe at any moment he can explode and reel off 8 to 10 points in a row.
Both teams shooting sub 30% in this physical second half. Still a lot to be decided. With Lamar Hurd, JB Long, glad you're with us on Pac-12 Oregon. In front of better than 4,500. Midweek game tonight in Corvallis. Boyd Tots with the basketball for LMU. This is Josh Spears, catch and shoot 3, and they take the lead.
You have to love what Mike Dunlap does out of timeouts. Every time they've come out of a break, he's gotten his team an open shot. Hasn't always resulted in a make, but it's resulted in a great shot.
A little cliche to just say that's the NBA influence. He's just a good coach.
It's a little bit of both. It is that NBA influence, and it is a guy that just knows the game of basketball.
Was that Olaf?
That was Olaf.
Back to the basket, fade away.
That was him. You do not need to get your eyes checked. It was the big Dutchman.
Probably the best game of the season for Olaf Schaftenar. Very efficient on his way to double figures. Got 12 points.
Oh, look at that action.
Again,
let me tell you
really
something.
2 sets out of the timeout.
That's big time action. They ran one shooter off of a double screen, and that shooter did not get the ball, so he then turned in and became the second screener in another double screen for another shooter. It's big time.
Langston Morris Walker is in for the Beavers on the step-through drive. Fortunate to draw the foul.
I mean, we just talked about the NBA influence. ID number 2 comes off, didn't get it, then he becomes the second screener. Gets a body on Schaftenar. That's big time.
Can't you just see coaches around the state of Oregon racing to their DVR to capture that one?
You better.
Draw that up.
You better.
It's been a low free throw shooting affair tonight. In fact, LMU still has not shot a penalty. OSU now 6 of 7 at the line. Trace Tinkle returns. And Stevie Thompson Jr. set to check in if Langston connects, which he does. So tied up at 48, 10.5 to go. Gary Payton II has returned to the OSU lineup.
You wonder what Oregon State's going to do defensively. Because if they go zone, LMU has shown that they can knock down threes. And in a man-to-man, I believe this is what Mike Dunlap and his team wants, is you to play man-to-man because of how efficient they are in their sets in the half-court offense.
Big G with the hedge off that screen. They've got him assigned to Adom Jacko, who's been the leading scorer for LMU. 6 left on the shot clock. Brown comes to get it with 4. Big G switches off. Well sealed by the OSU defense. Here comes Gary Payton to Bruce on the move. Kick to the corner, Thompson. He hits from the corner.
Poor job from the Lions in defensive transition. When GP2 got that ball, they had 3 guys trying to steal it from him. That allowed GP2 to basically go down in a 5-on-2 fast break, and a nice find from Bruce led to the 3-point shot from Thompson.
Trace Tinkle picks up his second.
I mean, 3 defenders trying to get a steal from one of the best guards in the country. You're not going to come up with that very often. So you leave Thompson open in the corner, and the freshman is finally able to knock it down from long range.
After starting 0-4 from distance, another whistle, this time away from the basketball. Rakorcevic takes it. That's his second. 15th foul on the Beavs. There's a look at Dunlap, who drew up a couple of great sets out of our under-12 media timeouts. New shot clock for the Lions. They trail it by 3. This entire contest, Lamar's been played within 6 points.
Oregon State back to that zone. You have to ID the shooters.
Here's one of them, Stephen Haney Jr. No whistle.
GP2 very lucky on that.
Look at that handle by Bruce.
Got to finish it off.
Weaving through. And that's a bump. Hard closeout on Thompson because he just hit a 3.
Well, Oregon State fortunate. GP2 fouled the shooter, got away with it, and Bruce, double crossover. And credit him, because some freshmen in that position, you hear the crowd start to roar, and you make an unnecessary play, but he had the composure to get all the way to the paint, draw the defense, and find the open teammate.
That burst with the basketball, they're asking him to use in defensive recovery, to get back in transition, use it at that end of the floor, too, to become a more complete player.
And how about just using it in defensive stability so you don't have to recover? You're that quick and you have that kind of burst, you can keep guys in front of you.
Tinkle puts it down. A leaner. It's offensive. And the time's coming off for his father. The block charge has not been the best here tonight. We'll take a look at this one.
This one looked like it should have been a block. He is outside the circle. I don't know, JB. I mean, that one was closer on the replay than it looked in real time to me.
Philosophically, I feel like at least half of would-be charges should just be no calls. Like there's just not enough contact. I understand the intention of the defender, but at both ends, I think there could have been no calls tonight.
Now, I'm fine with that, but then you get coaches that would say, look, refs, we got 2 guys falling. You have to call something.
They get together to make a decision here, and with 4 left on the shot clock, it'll remain with LMU. They've gotten some good looks off these short clock situations, and they just stick a 3 from the corner, Josh Spears.
Oregon State didn't know what defense they were in. You had half the guys in zone, the other half in man-to-man, so it allowed Spears to drift to the corner. You're talking about a guy that made 6 3-point shots in his last game. You can't leave him open.
Both sides have hit a half dozen 3-pointers on the night. Bruce is feeling it with the handle. Gets to the key. Soft touch it in.
Wow.
P.J. Bruce breaking it down.
He is putting defenders on skates.
A timeout just outside of 8 minutes to go, and we will take it with them. Here's the corner 3 by Josh Spears, and it's a 2-point game.
I accept I'm not 22. I accept I'm not the rower I used to be. I even accept I have a higher risk of stroke due to AFib, a type of irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. But what I won't accept is getting out there with less than my best. So if I can go for something better than warfarin, I will. Eliquis. Eliquis reduced the risk of stroke better than warfarin. Plus, it had significantly less major bleeding than warfarin. Eliquis had both. That really mattered to me.
Don't stop taking Eliquis unless your doctor tells you to, as stopping increases your risk of having a stroke. Eliquis can cause serious and, in rare cases, fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve or abnormal bleeding. While taking Eliquis, you may bruise more easily, and it may take longer than usual for any bleeding to stop. Seek immediate medical care for sudden signs of bleeding, like unusual bruising. Eliquis may increase your bleeding risk if you take certain medicines. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures.
I accept I don't have to set records, but I'm still going for my personal best. And for Eliquis.
Reduced risk of stroke, plus less major bleeding. Ask your doctor if switching to Eliquis is right for you.
Only Wendy's makes a deal feel like a meal. Introducing our new 4 for $4. $4 for a junior bacon cheeseburger, nuggets, fries, and a drink. You're still sitting there? That's fresh, never frozen beef, sizzling bacon, and so much more. Get 4 for $4 now at Wendy's.
2-point game, 8-minute mark here at Gill Coliseum, and this starts a grueling month of December for the Oregon State Beavers. We'll take a look at the upcoming slate presented by Jared. Nevada in next, and then it's at Kansas, Lamar.
It's not going to get any easier. Nevada, I mean, they are a quality team. And they have a big guy in Cam Oliver who originally committed to Oregon State with the old coaching regime, who is getting off to a tremendous start. Kansas, I don't even need to say nothing, so let's move on. Cal State Fullerton, that'll be a tough game in the Far West Classic at Tulsa, a team that has beat Wichita State already this season. So as you said, it is not going to be an easy December, but a lot of opportunities.
What will constitute a good December for GP2 and the Beavers in terms of win-loss?
I don't think you want to, I mean, you don't want to have any losses. They already have one, but you don't want to have another one. But I think if they can make it into conference play with only 2 losses, right now that'd be the ideal scenario. You definitely cannot have more than 3.
That would make this a virtual must-win with the schedule that we just looked at on your home floor against a team picked last in the West Coast Conference. Jacko against Tinkle. Trace Tinkle holding his ground, and he collects the rebound.
I told you, Tinkle might be the toughest player Oregon State has.
Now the 3. You bet! Trace Tinkle at both ends.
He's a tough matchup as well, similar to Olaf Schaftenar. He can step out and extend.
Look at the crossover and the floater by Brown.
Brown has Pac-12 point guard level quickness.
I could watch him and Bruce go back and forth all night. Tinkle, a little bit of heat check there. The hit ahead Jacko. Adom Jacko. And it's back to a 1-point game.
Here's the positive sign if you're Mike Dunlap and LMU is the fact that Jacko rolls up and dunked that ball. Lets you know that he still has the gas in the tank necessary to lead this team down a stretch.
He's got 20. Zone look from LMU. A dozen to shoot. P.J. Bruce catching fire.
He's been solid. And at this point, if you're Wayne Tinkle, you might have to leave that freshman in the game.
His second made 3 of the evening. On-ball screen for Brandon Brown. Well defended by the Beavs. He pulls. Front iron, collects his own. On rotation, here's the shooter. Stephen Haney Jr. rattles out, and Peyton grabs it. Tinkle trailing the play, gets to his left hand and gets to the free throw line.
Tinkle's so good at that. Get into the paint, seeking the body contact. It's the reason he leads Oregon State in free throw attempts.
And makes percentage by a wide margin in all 3 categories.
You expect nothing less from a coach's son.
How many do you think they shot in the backyard in Regina?
Backyard in Corvallis now.
Drew Eubanks comes to get Big G. Olaf Schaftenar at the line waiting on this second Tinkle attempt. Father and son looking for a home win to open up a new month after spending a whole week stewing on that Valpo loss. 1 out of 2, and Tinkle remains on the floor.
This was a great game for them. As we just looked at the upcoming schedule, you want this type of tight game.
Feels like they'll get another one this weekend against Nevada.
They will.
And there's a bump by Bruce. And that's the 7th on OSU. So the LMU Lions, with 5:52 remaining, will shoot their first free throw of the night. It's a 1-and-1.
Brown has demonstrated that type of quickness You got to be careful trying to pressure that guy 40 feet from the basket.
%81 from the strike, but it spills off. Bruce pushing tempo, gets inside the English, but no buckets. Eubanks' second chance.
Great patience.
Yeah, that's a good decision. And GP2 calls timeout. Remember, in live action this year, only the players can call timeout, so they must have heard something from their bench.
Well, that was great patience from Eubanks, because he had 2 or 3 cutters that he could have passed the ball to. Would have been a bit of a risky pass. But most freshman big men in that position, game on the line, 5-point lead, they would turn that ball over.
Let's take a closer look at his night, Lamar.
Well, this is the stuff that you see in the stat box. That last thing I was talking about, it doesn't show up in the box score at the end of the game. But these things do. His ability to finish in the paint, dunk on people, the block shots, those are layup-saving block shots. I mean, had he not been there in recovery, those would have been layups for LMU. And he finishes on the other end. He is just so impressive. And it's been that way since we did his first game.
14 points, has not missed from the floor, closing in on a potential double-double. 5:39 to go. Neither team has led by more than a half dozen tonight. Tough position to inbound, but they do get it to Thompson. Nearly a full shot clock to work with. Olaf Schaftenar. Post feed and a push, and now both teams are in the 1-and-1.
Just not good discipline from Herman. I mean, you did a good job pushing Eubanks off the block, but allow him to catch it from 15 feet and force him to have to make a move from there.
Eubanks has hit all 4 of his free throw attempts tonight. 67% and rising on the season.
He has a really nice release for a big guy.
Look how high he gets.
Yeah, it looks good every time it comes off his fingertips.
1 out of 2, but look at the hustle, Stevie Thompson Jr.
Huge play from the freshman.
His roughest shooting night of his freshman campaign, and yet he's gotten 2 key looks from point-blank range.
And you know his pops, who was a defensive ace in his playing days at Syracuse, is loving that last play.
Largest lead of the night for either team. 5 minutes to go on a Wednesday night in Corvallis. Off the mark, Spears. Offensive rebound, Johnson. Back to the perimeter, and the shot clock resets. Brown calling for the on-ball. Curling is Haney Jr. Good hit.
That shows you maturity. I mean, for them to be able to get that offensive rebound, regather, run a set to perfection, that's a mature basketball team.
Haney, whose father played at LMU. Here's a player with a famous basketball father, Thompson Jr.
He never quit on the play. He just kind of stuck in it. I told you, Dad was loving that. Those are the kind of plays Dad made on a regular basis.
That's a happy birthday, Dad.
Yes, it
right
is.
There.
Yes, it is.
That's a good gift, a steal and a bucket that could produce a win. Both teams shooting it sub 50%, but it's cleaned up. It's been intense. They've been firing better here in the second half, and we're set up for a great finish.
Well, LMU called the timeout. So you have to figure that Mike Dunlap is wanting to do something different defensively, and as we see, they're extending the pressure. They're going to force Oregon State to have to make decisions in the full court.
Good point to get a game reset. Each team with just 1 timeout remaining. They're both in the 1-and-1 penalty. Possession arrow favors the Bees. Bruce is getting some great run at the 1 tonight for Oregon State. Playing with Payton, Stevie Thompson, Eubanks, and Olaf Schaftenar, the 5 for OSU.
Usually Malcolm DeVivier would be in the game at this point in time, but with the way the freshmen are playing, it's tough to get them out.
A little chicken wing action there. Front arm foul, and it sends it the other direction.
That could prove to be critical, especially if LMU is able to come down and score. Let's see if Thompson gets that arm out. He does get it out a little bit.
Hard drive by Brown, and he beat Eubanks to the glass.
Well, that's the same play. We've seen Eubanks come out of nowhere and block, but that time he's just not able to get it. That's why you want to fix the problem from its foundation and not the result. The foundation is at the top of that ball screen action.
He joins Jacko and Haney in double figures for the visitors. Eubanks from Schaftenar. Knocked out with 9 to shoot. Wayne Tinkle wants a foul. Eubanks and the Beavs trying to hold on. They lead at 63-59. Timeout inside of 4.
This production is brought to you in part by McDonald's. I'm loving it.
How many gasolines clean better than Chevron with Techron? The answer is a big fat 0. Chevron with Techron. Care for your car.
I was 36, wanted to do something that was boldly different. We sold our house and drove west with the idea that we were going to be in the wine industry. We lived in a teepee for 2 months.
I mean, if you're going to do something, why not do it with your whole heart?
It's that creative outlet of being able to make something and make something that comes from the land. Bank of the West said, we have complete faith in your brand. Don't do anything to compromise it. Banks don't say things like that.
You know what I love best about your style? You.
At Jared, we only sell one piece of jewelry, the Pandora ring that celebrates her personal style. And it's waiting for you at Jared.
When a mountain needs to refresh things, it doesn't call for a cleaning service. It uses the cold to sift through every single speck. So if you wonder what inspired us to cold filter our beer, well, you're looking at it. Coors Light, born in the Rockies.
I'm Wayne Tinkle, head men's basketball coach at Oregon State University. You're watching Pac-12 Oregon, where champions play. Go Beavs.
The OSU band locked and loaded for this final stretch. 63-59, the Beavs in front of LMU with Lamar Hurd, JV along with you midweek in Corvallis. Big heads all around. Drew Eubanks has had a nice night. Gary Payton II, matching his father's steal streak. The rebounding has been one of the stories, and OSU has been strong. So 9 left on the timer as they come out of the timeout. GP2 sends it into Schaftenar. Schaftenar against Jacko. Turns right shoulder, and he's fouled on the way up as the shot clock winds down.
Wow, that one hurts if you're the Lions. You did exactly what you wanted to do. Keep the ball out of GP2's hands, force somebody else to make a play. And that time, Schaftenar with the height advantage, with the length, able to extend over the top and draw the foul.
He has made a 3 now in 5 straight contests for the Beavs. Now 7 of 9 on the season from the free throw stripe. Two big ones at the line for Olaf Schaftenar. The lead out to 6 for OSU.
Seems like every time LMU's gotten in this position, they've had an answer.
Brown rides a couple of high on ball screens.
Good show from Eubanks.
Spears dead on the dribble. A dozen to shoot. Jacko against Eubanks. Foul on the floor. That'll be the 9th team foul on OSU, so still a 1-and-1 situation.
Good thing for Oregon State that foul was called, because Jacko not only made it to the basket, he completed the layup. And that's where Oregon State is going to be vulnerable if they continue to defend like that 35 feet from the basket. I mean, there's not a lot of help set up here. GP2's able to swipe in, but not so much because he's guarding the shooter. So if the Beavers extend that far, they have to do a good job sitting in the stance and keeping the ball in front.
Misses the front end, but an offensive board for Jeffrey McClendon and the Lions. Brown splits the hedge, leaves it for McClendon.
We've seen Brown do that several times and drop that off. But again, you see GP2, Langston Morris Walker, Eubanks come out of nowhere and make the block. That time not able to recover.
3 minutes for the Beavs to cover. Can LMU get a stop here defensively? GP2 probing, finding Stephen Thompson Jr., who's heating up late.
Well, how interesting is that? That in a 4-point game, they call the number of a freshman to deliver the big shot.
Jacko dribbles into a jumper. Finally misses. Feels like the first time tonight. Payton pulls it down. He's got numbers. Thompson again. Oh, everything but the buckets. Still life for LMU. Feels like a must score here for the Lions. Poked out by Payton.
That's the play we were just talking about. Brown getting into the paint. But at his size, he's got to be a little quicker getting that ball up because you have GP2 reigning Pac-12 Defensive Player of the Year, ball hawking you.
The fewest that Gary Payton II has scored this year, 12 points against Iona. Only 4 tonight, but look at all the different ways he's impacted the game, whether it be rebounding, stealing, blocking shots, 8 assists.
True mark of a special player, a guy of great value. One who, when you have an off night, what else do you bring to the table? And he brings about everything for the most part. I mean, defensively, extra hands on basketballs, getting teammates involved. He does it all.
Well, coming up Nevada this weekend against OSU. You can catch it on your Pac-12 Now app on Pac-12 Network. Nevada has some ties to Oregon State, including Doug Stewart, former assistant here under Craig Robinson, now serving under Eric Musselman. Another former Pac-12er, Musselman most recently on Herb Sendek's staff at ASU.
And like Dunlap here from LMU, Musselman is a former NBA guy. And that game against Nevada will be equally as tough, if not tougher than this current game the Beavers are in.
So 2:18 to go, 68-61, Beavs in front, looking to improve to 5-1 on the season. Quick game reset here. The Lions have used their final timeouts. Possession arrow still favors the Beavs. LMU has now hit the double bonus because the Beavs have 9 fouls. So on that next whistle, they would get 2 free throws.
That was a big shot from Stevie Thompson.
Nearly went down, nearly was the dagger. Instead, the Lions still have a chance. Into Spears. 15 to shoot. He gets through the trap. Scramble for the loose ball. Last touched by Shoftanar. 10 remain for the Lions.
If you're Oregon State defensively, you want to force the ball to the top of the key and force LMU to have to reset or send it back to that corner. There's nothing wrong with that, but you don't want to allow the Lions to split your defense and get to the paint. That could have been a layup.
Couple of shooters lined up just off that left elbow for Mike Dunlap, including Josh Spears and Stephen Haney Jr. The bigs, the blockers, if you will, the screeners at the near elbow. Smallest player on the floor, Brandon Brown at 5'11", 160, sends it in. Haney Jr. on the catch, 8 to shoot. Here is Brown against Shoftanar. Back iron tipped out. Stephen Haney Jr. hits front iron, a third chance. Haney again. This one he hits.
Huge shot. Puts tremendous pressure on Oregon State to score this possession.
Back to a 2-possession game, 1:40 left. See if OSU can execute. Payton seen 2 defenders. Hits Shoftanar. Olaf from distance. Brown a hard cross. Gets into the chest of Payton. No whistle, but he does get the bucket.
That is big time. Olaf Shoftanar, first of all, with the huge shot. And Brown with a great answer.
You want to shorten the game here if you're OSU?
Yeah, you shorten it, but you take a good shot if you can get it. You don't need a 3, although they've made the last one.
Bruce passed on 3, but it works out as Eubanks, a monster on the boards.
Great follow from Drew Eubanks, just doing more of the same.
quick three, LMU. Payton rebounds. And now you might have to join the foul game, except away from the play. Eubanks got loose with the elbow. This may be more than just a personal. I'd be surprised if the officials don't go to the monitor.
They're going to have to. I think Eubanks got caught on the retaliation. It's been a physical game all night. You see him and Jacko. See Wayne Tinkle telling them, you have to think, you got to be smart, time and score. You're up 7 points. You don't need to do anything to give LMU a free basket.
We'll see if it's upgraded to a flagrant one. For the moment, it's just a personal.
It's to the face. It's to the face. And although it's not necessarily a huge hit, we know officials this season really want to do a good job enforcing any rules involving hits to the face.
See if we can get an explanation from Tommy Nunez, Darren White, or Deldre Carr. We'll try and catch their attention here.
You know, it wasn't like a wild elbow like you think you would see at that point. It was just kind of a little extension of the arm.
They're setting up for a baseline out of bounds, so that would mean that it's just a personal on Eubanks. Do you need a three here if you're LMU, Lamar?
Yeah, you want to go for three. You're out of timeout. You're going to have to foul Oregon State regardless.
Substitution confusion. I think it's a stoppage. Now we're ready. Brown throws it in. Jacko. Here comes Haney. Got it back. Now drives. Contested two. It's not bad if you're OSU for the time being.
Well, here they have to extend defensively. They can't allow Oregon State to just run time off the clock. You either go for steal or foul right away.
Stephen Thompson Jr. breaks the timeline, and now they give it. Josh Spears commits the 9th Lions foul, so it's a 1-and-1, the final 1-and-1 that OSU will shoot tonight.
Lions wasted a lot of time in that possession. If you're going to spend 8 to 10 seconds and you want to spend all that time pressuring, maybe you throw some traps. But a lot of time, 10 seconds goes off the clock.
Thompson Jr. has not shot many free throws this season, just 3 of 5 coming into tonight. How about the second half he's put together after a cold shooting start?
They haven't been able to get him off the floor because of his second half. I mentioned usually you'll see Malcolm DeVivier, Langston Morris Walker, the upperclassmen in the game at this time. But the freshmen have been pretty good.
Maybe a little offense defense here as PJ Bruce comes in to spell him. 30 seconds left to cover for Oregon State, looking for a 5-and-1 start to this 2015-16 campaign.
Here, LMU, you want to go for 3. You have to believe Mike Dunlap has a great play call already dialed up, ready to go. They've proven that multiple times throughout this game. But if Oregon State takes away the 3-point shot, which I expect them to do, just get the quick 2. But then defensively, you got to pick up right away.
Next for the Lions, Riverside on Sunday. This weekend, it's Nevada for OSU. You can see 30-50 on the clock right now. That's what's causing the stoppage. Now they've got it right. And some token pressure here from OSU to make the Lions take as much off the clock as they can. Brown up the floor, drops it off. A deep 3 from Spears, clangs off. Schoftenar has it. And if the Bees makes free throws, that should all but do it. Our Barbasol close shave player of the game is Drew Eubanks. For the emotional lift, he gave the Beavs 17 points on 6 of 7 from the floor.
He was a complete game changer. They don't win this game without his play. Not just because of what you're seeing here offensively, but the blocks, the rebounding, the late game rebounding, the presence. Oregon State needed somebody to match the physicality and toughness of Jacko, and Drew Eubanks was able to do it.
Meanwhile, Schoftenar hits the first of 2 at the free throw line. He and Eubanks both in double figures, along with Thompson Jr. and Langston Morris Walker, who did most of his damage in the opening half. A good test on their home floor tonight for Oregon State.
Great test.
They're going to prevail over a very game and improving young LMU squad.
You said LMU was picked to finish last. Oh, GP2, what you got for us?
The exclamation mark for Gary Payton II on a night in which he tied his father with 37 consecutive games with at least 1 steal. Jacko was tremendous, and he too goes out with the buckets. 22 points for Adom Jacko, but it's a 79-70 win for the Beavers. Final thoughts, Lamar Hearn?
Good job matching the energy. Oregon State didn't start off the way they needed to. You have to credit LMU. Very well coached team, disciplined, mature. And Oregon State found the energy. They dug deep. They made it a physical matchup in the second half. They did enough to win. And this is what you want, fine-tuning as you get ready for this December gauntlet that they're facing.
Reminder, the Drive finale is coming up later tonight on Pac-12 Network. For Lamar Heard, I'm JB Long. Our producer has been Ross Miller. Tonight, our director, Mark Wolfson. The final 79-70. Oregon State goes to 5-1, and they host Nevada next. You can see that contest on the Pac-12 Network. Good night from Corvallis.
Previously on The Drive.
Coach Witt always preach us, stay on the course and stay on the path. We got something great.
Love each other, which I know you will. We got to become a better football team next week. 18 days from now, this is all in the books. Okay, so let's make sure we give it our best shot.
I feel like our team is still together. We're still intact. We're going to finish out the season strong, too.
Back at it. Let's roll. Let's go.
Where we are today, we have to look at our steps and understand where we're at. Take out all the negative energy that's out there, continue to work forward. Always remember the good times, never forget the bad times, because that's what's going to drive you through the future.
You're either in or you're in the way.
Stay alive.
I'm a builder. I like to build things. That's me.